right,
give you
so
a boost.
that's right. You want to give me a boost? Hey,
Whoa.
hey. All right, so yeah, I do have it now recording. What's on, ladies and gentlemen? We are finally fucking doing another podcast here, in the midst of the El Coronavirus, COVID-19.
It's Corona time.
Hey. So yep, we're doing this remote. Both Joe and I are on fucking Zoom meeting just to get you guys the entertainment you guys want.
This program that no one's ever heard of, but clearly Hector thinks that everyone should have heard
Shut
of
the
it.
fuck up! I don't wanna hear
Oh,
you shit.
nobody's ever heard of this program, but um, we may have to keep 6 feet of social distance, but our content does not. So we are going to continue to try to do something like this as much as we can, because at least we can do this
Right, right. At least
for
we
now.
have that. Yeah, for now anyway. And God knows how fucking long it's gonna take before this shit like clears up. So yeah, if you guys haven't guessed it, today's today's podcast is gonna be just on that fucking coronavirus because there's so much shit that we're gonna have to mention. I mean, and it's not gonna be like I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh man, great, what other new information are they gonna tell us, or what more could we learn? You motherfuckers is in for the
Oh yeah,
first
you're not
fucking
gonna learn anything from this
no.
except our opinions, and that's pretty much it.
That's exactly
There,
what
there's
this
no
is.
there's no learning.
No, now, for me, this is my own personal disclaimer. I'm not. I'm what I my opinions. They're not here to minimalize, or sorry, minimize like those people who are really actually being affected, who've lost family members, who are sick and really worried, who have anxiety, and who like this situation is naturally causing people to be in a very serious state of concern. I mean, it is not to like say that their feelings or their reactions aren't valid. I'm just sharing my opinion as well as Joe, and also it is not
Yeah.
to disclaim or discredit any of the professional opinions that's coming from those who work in like hospitality, like well, sorry, let me clump that a little bit more general. Those who have lost their jobs, those who still work, like delivery, food service, grocery chains, and then especially those who are on the front line doing like medical care, whether it be in the hospitals or you're in a group home or you're in a old folks home. If you're caring for the public, it's this. Our opinions are not to discredit what you guys are going through. It's just my first opinion, which I'm going to immediately throw out there, is although as serious as the situation is, I feel people are still going way too fucking above and beyond. And over exaggerating their response. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. There's nothing wrong with being worried about the situation. But when you're going out and you're purposely going out and hoarding and buying things to the point where you're making it harder for somebody else to survive and get their equal opportunity to be prepared, I'm mad at people for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. I don't like when people are purposely they're going out and there's no limit on this. I'm buying the whole shelf. If you're trying to buy like toilet paper, I went to Dollar General limit 3. We as a group, me and mom, we bought 6, but we didn't buy it for us. We bought to give to others. Now, if you're doing that, that is acceptable in my eyes, and it looks like it's acceptable in Hector's as well. But if you're trying to purposely buy 6 so you have 6, that's where there's an issue because other people need stuff too.
Right, right. And the thing, one of the funniest things that I thought about the other day, in lieu of, I mean, it's I mean, well, then again, I haven't really paid attention, but I kind of feel that the mass purchasing hysteria, I guess if we can call it that, I feel like it's starting to go down a little bit now that you had that first giant wave of people go out and do their mass buying. Now that I feel like it's slowing down, um, it's going to get a little bit easier. But my first thought was at the height, at the very first, we'll say 2 weeks, because it's been like the past 2 weeks, really.
Roughly, yeah.
At the height of this whole thing, my thing is a lot of these people are out there who are hoarding and doing these excessive impulse buying of these quote unquote essentials. Um, One of their biggest things, I mean, and of course, this obviously doesn't reflect them all, but it's a very big majority, is where they're saying, we want to protect ourselves. We don't want to catch it, blah, 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 blah. We want to do what we can to make sure that, we're protected. You know that it doesn't matter how much that you buy, if you cut off people from getting like I said a second ago, if you cut people off from getting that same opportunity to protect themselves, you are only adding to the amount of people who are becoming infected, therefore in turn increasing your possibility of catching it. And so like
Correct.
that's one of the biggest reasons why I was so like upset, or not upset, but I was like so in disagreement with how people were reacting when it came to buying stuff, is because it's there is such thing as being too careful, because when you're too careful you are going to get it in other means. It's almost like, I mean, it's a sense of karma almost.
By the way, if you hear any screaming, that's my really dumb neighbors outside.
Oh, I hear absolutely nothing, to be honest. I
Okay.
literally only hear you.
Yeah, I figured it's just my neighbors are outside washing their vehicles and
Better
yeah,
wash
I
their
don't
ass,
I don't I don't know. I don't know. But let me jump into that real quick. I also I think I agree with what you're saying for the most part as of right now. There might be some things that we will disagree on, but um I purposely I'm going to state I'm not going to wipe my ass with my hand.
Yeah,
I
nope,
I
nope.
am
I'm
not
with you.
I am not going to use newspaper. Like I know, okay, maybe back in like the early 1900s, they didn't have toilet paper; they used other things. But that's great. We currently have toilet paper. I'm going to use toilet paper. That's what I'm going to do. So when I go to the store and I know that we're good on toilet paper, but there's a whole shelf, I might grab a roll of toilet paper because you don't know.
Right, right.
What I do know is you had said that the mass hysteria has gone down. It has, but it hasn't in certain locations. I just read on Facebook that a friend of mine, she knows somebody that works at the Mount Hope Family Dollar,
Yeah.
and somebody went in there to get toilet paper, and they said we don't know when our next delivery is because the last delivery we had was all Lysol. They stopped delivery of food items and stuff. It was
Right.
all Lysol and cleaning products, and they attacked the driver and got on his truck and took the items off the truck. They were waiting out back by
What?
the store. So they're not getting any other products. They're just going to be getting cleaning products in, but they're not going to be telling people when the products are coming in anymore, which
Right.
is the safer bet. I do know
Wow.
one of the Walmarts, maybe it was Dewey, I can't remember, one of the Walmarts, somebody actually, they were all waiting for the truck delivery to get there, and they hopped onto the back of the guy's truck in his truck and started grabbing rolls of toilet paper off of his truck.
Yo. Oh my god. I cannot believe that. I mean,
So the
I
mass
can.
hysteria is still there. It's just not as, um,
Televised.
yes,
It's just not
and
televised.
we might not see it as much because, like the other
Oh, Joe, you ended up freezing on me.
yep.
Yep, there you go. You're back. You're back.
Okay. Yeah, you froze for me for a second
Yeah,
too. I was like, "What's going
you
on?"
said the other day what?
Tops had fully stocked meat shelves and everything. Like the toilet paper wasn't stocked, but everything else was pretty much there.
Okay.
So I feel like the mass hysteria has calmed down. I wouldn't say that it's completely gone yet.
Right.
There are still some individuals that are making a pretty big deal of it
Yeah.
in that aspect. But I mean, I don't know. I also know everyone's flipping out all these new cases that are being brought up about, oh, there's all these new COVID-19, which by the way, it's called the coronavirus. It sounds cooler. call it that.
Catching the Rona.
So there's all these new COVID-19 cases. Well, that's going to happen. You want to know why? Because now we have kits to test people. You're going to hear more numbers skyrocketing in areas because they're getting tested.
Right, right. You also want to throw in the fact that there's still a lot of people that are not heeding the warning and are still going out and
Yep.
doing whatever the fuck they want. And I'm sorry, guys, but it's coming from a lot of the millennials. Because millennial Joe don't give a fuck. Sorry, not to throw Joe in there, but millennial don't give a fuck.
You
Johnson
meant to do it on
is
purpose.
running around, is running around and still going out and drinking with friends, whether it be at their house or not. Like they don't understand. You don't need to be in a public place to catch a fucking public virus.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I've seen too is there's a lot of people coming out of left field and they're talking about. I'm sure we might get into it, but people may have heard Bill Gates started this virus. People may have heard that Pelosi is behind the control of the virus. Um,
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't heard like Dr. Seuss created this back with his original
I
books.
was about to say it's actually Mickey because Mickey
Um,
wanted to wipe out the Jews.
the maybe Mickey don't give a fuck. Um, maybe possibly okay. I'm not going to discredit anyone's theories or whatever. They could be true. We don't know.
Yeah.
What we do know is the government is telling us to quarantine ourselves so we don't have to get to that extreme where we have fucking tanks rolling down our street making sure everyone's in their house. Now,
Right.
could it get that serious? It could.
Absolutely.
But if we just listen at first to what they're telling us to do and we take those precautions, that might stop the spread. And then we don't have to get to the extreme part of um,
Okay, you're
who
not
started
listening,
the
so
virus.
now we got to force it on you.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I hate Cuomo. I hate King Cuomo. I think he's a dirtbag piece of shit. I hate this guy. But he said, we are not going to go into that kind of a state of emergency where we're locking everything down to that extent.
Right.
So, to keep it from going to that extent, just listen. Just try these 2 weeks and then see what happens. If it's getting worse, then you can put your tinfoil hats on and say that the government created this shit 100 years ago and they got brain waves and controlling machines. And then we can go that route. We can say aliens hit Earth and gave us this virus, whatever you want.
Right.
Let's try the 2 weeks first.
Right. I 1,000% fucking agree with you. And my thing, like, I can't stand Cuomo. You already know that. But I will say, I'm actually very impressed with how he's been handling the situation.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying everybody close the fuck down, like um, he's trying to put a leverage on the fact that a lot of the business who are affected are a lot of business that can't just stand on their own in a crisis like this. Like, for example, like, go 50% capacity. Restaurants and stuff are closed up, after a certain point, but you're able to still like like, it's not an indefinite closing. You can still operate, but you just can't have any internal dining that you have to do curbside or like pickup style business.
Right.
But I really have to. And I mean, this doesn't mean I'm going to fucking vote for him again. Hell no. But at least, I can say that I am impressed with just the way he's handling it, the way he's trying to keep a calmness over the people of the state. Like, I really admire that. And it was surprising to me that he's actually also giving some credit. Now, that I'm not a big fan of Trump, but even with his quarrels with Trump, he's also given him and his team credit for supplying the kind of support that the state needs, which blew my fucking mind, by the way, because he's always like the first to like chastise him in everything that he does. Again, not saying that I'm a Bible thumping, Trump loving conservative, but I will give credit where it's due. That Trump has been very responsive to the needs of the state, and it's nice to see. It's finally great to see two separate sides of the aisle, so to speak, at least coming together with some kind of sense of. I hate to sound all fucking hippie, but like a sense of togetherness in the process. And it looks like we got a little disconnected. There you are.
There we go. Okay.
I started singing. I'm
You you froze for a second, and I was like, what's going on?
what was the last thing you heard? What was the last thing you heard?
They're the hippie and coming together, and
Oh, okay.
I agree with that as well. But it also scares me a little bit because I've looked into other like viruses that we had. We had like what was it, H1N1 that affected 61 million people. That's nowhere close to what this is, and this is getting 100 times more coverage than that ever had. We never had a quarantine for that kind of shit. That's what scares me, is that this is getting way more coverage, and both sides of the political party are coming together.
Oh, you froze again. Oh, no, never mind.
There we go.
So you said both sides of the party are coming together, and then
both sides of the political parties are coming together, and that's what scares me, is that they're agreeing. So my question is, what are we not being told? How serious is this really that they're not telling us?
Like, are you talking like conspiracy theory type?
Well, I guess it could like be dabbling in that direction, but they never see eye to eye. But at this point in time, they are both standing with each other and agreeing with what each other are saying and doing. And that has to be scary to most people, because that's like Batman and Joker working together to stop something. Like they don't do that. So what are we not being told?
Oh, okay. Because initially I was like, if you were thinking like they're cut like New World Order type thing, where they're just gonna go and like enslave people, or is it more of like, oh my god, it's actually that serious enough that it's caused both sides of the aisle to kind of try to reconcile?
Yeah, kind of, because like if you go back to like when the height of the war, they clearly lied to us about all the deaths and stuff. They made up numbers to not scare the public.
Yeah.
And they came up with certain terms to use, so we didn't know that they meant our American people. So like that's what I'm thinking, is like, what are you not telling us? What do you think we cannot handle? As I mean, clearly we can't handle it, because as soon as an outbreak happens, everyone needs to wipe their asshole all of a sudden. So yeah, I clearly don't think that we can handle the truth, but there has to be something there that they're not telling us, that it's getting worse than what we know.
Right, because obviously they know that. I mean, let's again, going back to the shopping hysteria, they know that people are going to act just like that. So what happens if they were to actually release more accurate numbers that they don't want to say has been confirmed, or whatever the case is? They know that that's going to happen. That's probably why we still don't know about the truth about fucking like what happened to the dinosaurs, or whether or not Jesus actually walked on water, or let's or how about fucking whatchamacallit, aliens, Area 51, and the shit that they have there, because they know that once the actual like the actual information gets put out, people are gonna fucking run with whatever they have. It's just it's gonna cause such a mass panic.
Yep, that's, and it's never been more clear before than now, is especially with like with Trump saying he wants to send this $1,000 check. I've never heard so many stories as to who qualifies for this $1,000 check like than ever before. I've heard 20 different reasons why you would qualify, and none of them are the same. Like nobody is on the same page with information, because everyone's sitting at home and they're on the internet and they're listening to fucking Billy Bob in his mom's garage that has an idea. Oh, now that's gospel. That's how I'm getting this check. And
Right.
then and fucking I don't know, Martha in North Carolina is saying this is why you're getting the check. So then everyone's believing that. Like nobody is going for facts. It's just plain old bullshit
Yeah,
and lies
hearsay.
and what
Yeah.
sounds better to them.
Right. Yeah. Whatever caters to their own personal agenda.
Right. Right.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I've
Um,
never heard so many like random stuff like the Bill Gates thing. Like, okay, maybe Bill Gates did cause all this issues and he had a secret government project in China, but guess what? We don't know that. It's not gospel. It's not the truth. You can't go spreading something you might think is the truth.
right. Right.
It's not how that works.
Right. But unfortunately, that's they always say that there's always pros and cons to the power of social media and the internet.
We're seeing the cons right now.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of cons, and
We're
it's only
seeing the cons.
exactly, and the reason why it's so dominant is because social media has given those who are easily manipulated and those who are good at manipulating, that we've given them such a market, such a
Oh yeah.
power to voice those thoughts, and it's hard. It's a power grab, really.
Hmm.
But I mean, you know what? And not to be Debbie Downer, because I mean, but this is reality, and so we need that dose of reality. But I would implore or encourage people that if you can't find anything positive in the information you're finding, go out and create a positive experience yourself. I mean, granted, yes, you want to be informed, but there's a responsible way to do it, looking at credible news sources, not Billy Bob with an upside down flag hanging in his garage. And and then soccer mom Karen who just got done berating a Walmart employee. Go for actual. Me personally, NPR. I fucking love NPR radio. They're so biased, or not? Sorry, not biased. They're non-biased, very middle of the aisle, so you can just take the information and do what you want with it. But it's based, like you said, on fact. It's some random dude just
Yep.
preaching his crazy conspiracy theories, which. Going back to the whole lockdown
There's a
thing, the
lot of them
martial law,
out there.
Jesus Christ, this could in times like this, I can't. I mean, before, usually when you think of what are the top three things that would piss most of the people off on any social media platform, it's politics, it's
Hmm.
religion,
Hmm.
those two, right there, conservative, liberal, or if
Usually money would play a part in that too.
well,
That'd be
yeah,
number three.
yeah. So money, yeah. So politics, religion, and money, and they would all cross and correlate into each other for one reason or another. They would. I mean, because they do. It does. You can connect them depending on the conversation. I think now, at least from what I've seen, I have to say that these people. Oh, you froze. Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah,
I
every time that one of us freezes, I can still hear you. You can just keep continuing. Just
Oh, okay.
the viewer will have to, I guess, deal with the fact that I'm just like, "Duh,"
Well, no, because
for
remember
like
it's
30
gonna be
seconds.
OBS. It's gonna be OBS, so it's just gonna be brief silence. So I'll just make a disclaimer saying that there's audio lapses because of your connection. Um,
Blame the. I'm sorry. Let me use Trump's term real quick. Blame the China
the
virus.
China. It's made in
China,
China.
China.
So I have to say, a lot of people, at least for myself, one of the biggest things that I'm probably the most spiteful towards right now are those people who are spreading the conspiracy theories. Like, oh, that this is just a ruse to, get martial law and do this, that. No, motherfuckers, because stupid people like you are throwing people into a fucking frenzy, and now people don't know exactly how to conduct themselves. But yeah, I have to say yes. And it comes in waves. If at first it was people who debated religion, then it was people who debated politics on both sides, then it was the fact that I couldn't stand anti-vaxxers, and now it's at the point where I'm at conspiracy theorists, because now the conspiracy theorists are like, oh hey, look, Democrat this, Republican that. Oh hey, anti-vaxxers. Like they're playing like they're pulling the puppet strings on the
Oh yeah,
emotions of
of
those
course.
who aren't, like, I guess, strong-headed, in a way to put it. But yeah, conspiracy theories right now are all over Facebook and well, sorry, social media.
Social
Um,
media.
and
Yeah.
and it's going to be very hard for people to try to filter out the misinformation that they give. So as Joe said, as I said, um, do your fucking research. Google is there for a reason. Just use it. If you use Google, Google will be it'll be a hell of a lot easier to formulate an opinion, or being able to understand exactly what the current world affairs are, as opposed to a random like page on Facebook that you can't even determine whether or not it's the real person.
What I would like to say is I have seen whether you believe or not, you like Trump or not, whatever that case is, what I will say is, views aside, um I feel that some people of Asian descent are getting picked apart personally because they're Asian. I seen somebody on my Facebook. They went to go get Chinese food the other night, and the front door of the Chinese restaurant said, "Please don't be afraid of us. We just want to serve you food."
Wow, are you
Now,
serious?
yep, swear to God,
Oh my
I'll see if I
god.
can.
All right, hold on. You did fro that you froze again. Man, it's actually starting to happen a little bit more often. Hold on a second. I'm gonna wait for this connection to pick back up, just so I can make sure that when it comes back, I can catch your entire story. There
There
you
we
go. All
go.
right, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know. We have like 30 devices on the connection right now, so that could be what it is.
Mm.
Um, if I find the post, I will send it to you later on Facebook. But they just they want to work, they want to do their job, and they don't want people to be afraid to come into their location to eat their food. Like, just because if this started in a Chinese town, a city, what, that does not mean people of uh Middle Eastern descent are out to get us. They're all bad people. That's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. And someone should not be uh scared to run their business, to serve you. That's their entire process of their business, is they wake up every day to fucking serve you, and now they have to like tell you, hey, don't be afraid of us, guys, please come in, please buy our food.
Yeah, and I've seen
It's
a bunch of those
stupid.
jokes already too. And I mean, though, yes, my dark sense of humor is like, oh no, that's funny, but
The
it's
the
still,
jokes are fine in
yep.
your like inner circle and between like friends and stuff. I made Kobe helicopter crashing jokes, like, fucking Kobe, and then the helicopter falls. I made those jokes.
Tune into
They're
last
not
week's video for that.
they're not they're not great jokes that the masses need to know, but it doesn't need to become a reality where you need to people are afraid to go to their job because they think Americans are going to attack them or are afraid to see them or come to their business
Yeah,
because of this situation.
it's World War
That is
II all over again.
absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
yep, World War II all over again. Anybody who was any kind of Asian descent, immediately you were part of the Japs, and you were a spy, or you were here to make the public sick. It's literally the same thing, different generation.
Yeah, it's absolutely retarded. Well, no, you know what? I don't want to use that word. Nope. It's absolutely dumb. It's dumb. And anyone that backs that kind of thinking is also dumb.
Yeah, no, I
Period.
agree. I agree.
That shit upsets me. And then, not okay, not so much. This is kind of political beliefs. I won't get too far into it because I know everyone's going to have different sides of the spectrum. But what I will say, me personally, my thoughts, whether you are for Trump or not, the way I'm looking at it is, this man as much shit as everyone talks about him. He's the worst president. He's a piece of shit. He's racist, whatever. He's an orange. We made a cartoon about him being an orange, and other countries make fun of him being an orange, okay?
Yeah.
He's dealt with all this. This man is still every night trying to get in front of the camera to inform you on what he believes is going on, whether you think he's dumb for saying the China virus or whatever. Maybe he's not the greatest intellectual and he doesn't use his words properly, but he is still going to bat for this country every single day. And all we're doing is, fuck him. That ain't my president. Fuck him. Fuck him. How about we use this time to come together and wash our fucking hands? How is there possibly martial law because people can't wash their hands after touching their penis? I don't understand these stupid PSAs. You go to the bathroom, you wash your fucking hands, you dirty son of a bitch. Why do we have to put out?
You gotta wash your fucking fingers.
I don't understand why we have to. Please wash your hands. Please don't sneeze on each other. Like, what are we, fucking 3 years old?
Mind your manners. Wash your hands.
I don't. But I just want to say, whether people like, you don't like Trump, but still, you're not like bashing this dude to the point where like, oh, he's just a piece of shit. Like, this man is still going in front of the camera every single day to inform you, whether you want to hear his word or not. He wants you to know what's going on, and he's still trying to stand up and protect us.
Absolutely.
I think at this point, even, I hate fucking Cuomo with a passion. I hate Cuomo, but I still respect the people involved that are in these positions that are still trying to do their job to the fullest to inform us, whether we hate them or not.
Right.
They're still trying to inform us. And I think, at least at this point, he deserves a little bit of respect. Everybody in that position deserves a little bit of respect.
Right. Yeah. Yep. No,
But
well said. Fucking well
crazy.
said, dude.
It's crazy.
Dude, well fucking said. Fuck it. That's it. Podcast done. It was your monologue right now. That was fucking. The rest of it's not fucking needed. I'm just gonna edit the rest of everything out because everything else was bullshit, unimportant, and just listen to Joe.
Oh, just listen to me. I'm usually not the person. Well, when it comes down to the wire, I'm the person of reason. But during most times, I am the jokester. I like to be the class clown. But no, it's stupid shit. Especially yesterday, we went to, I don't know, we went somewhere to go we had to get gas or something. Oh, mom had to drop off her timesheets because she's a home health aide.
Right.
So we had to go down by like Irondequoit. On the way back, there's this guy. He's standing by the bridge. I forgot what street. I don't drive, guys, so please don't get mad at me. I don't remember the fucking street I was next to. But on the way back to hitting 104, it was this homeless guy. And he literally looked like he was homeless, and he had, he had issues.
Oh, hold on a second. You did cut off for a second. Just gonna wait for the connection to come back. Give me a second. Because I can usually hear when your background comes back in. There you go. You're good. I saw your big ass eyes. Nice.
He looked like he actually did need some kind of help. So we didn't have anything on us, but we pulled up to him, and mom had a candy bar sitting in the middle. She's like, "Hey, would you like a candy bar?" And he was like, "Yes, please." But he was like afraid to walk up to us, and I was like, "Really?" Like, I don't know if it was, the virus, or he just like, gets treated like shit and he was afraid to approach us. But
probably that one, honestly.
We didn't have like any cash on us because, card. She has card.
Yeah.
But we had something, and we're like, here, we don't need it. You probably need it more than us. So we don't think you're going to trade a Hershey's bar for some blow at Walmart. I don't know what you do with it, but I mean, it's just simple shit like that. Just watching people like afraid to approach people, like, not because you're gonna get a virus. That I understand. Stay the fuck away from each other. But I mean, like, he looked like he was scared to approach us because he was afraid for his well-being.
Right. Exactly. That.
And
yeah,
I just, man, I don't understand. Like, yes, social distancing, that's what we need to be doing, but like we need to also like remember that we're all in this, we're all the same, we are all human beings. We all need help at some point in life.
Right.
And this is the one time that everyone's going to need each other while staying 6 feet away from each other.
Right.
but
Yeah.
we need to realize that, like yesterday when I asked you, hey, are you good on toilet paper? I picked up some extra. Do you need it? And you were like, nah, I'm good. So I gave it to my neighbor
Right.
because he's got 3 kids. Like it's simple shit like that. Like I'm not saying, hey, gather 50 of your friends to go do a house party. Like no, stay the fuck away from each other.
Right.
But everybody needs a little bit of help.
Right.
Everyone's gonna
Exactly.
need it.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, and not to say that like this is a positive. I mean, I guess it's all about perspective at this point. But a very big positive thing about this whole pandemic right now is the fact that you're actually. I mean, depending on your level of fucking arrogance, which nobody should have at this point. You can actually start realizing and seeing and understanding just how, regardless of what your social class or like your social standing in society, like everyone when it comes to this pandemic is put on the same exact playing field.
Yep.
Like everybody literally is no better than anybody else, because if you catch it, you're gonna get treated just like a homeless person would get treated if they caught it.
Uh-huh.
Like they're
Uh-huh.
going to be put through the exact same treatment. No one is above anyone else, and I think that's a very I think that's a fucking wonderful thing, because a lot of people tend to look down, like for example, like you said, perfect example. He could, and I really truly believe that in the case of that homeless gentleman that you're just talking about, that it was more than likely the fact that he is already dealing with a day-to-day stigma that like he's homeless, so he's
Right.
got to be like a cesspool of disease and whatever the case is, so he's already by default being treated like trash. So
Right.
being
Right.
able to look, like you said, look out for your neighbor, look out for your fellow man, um, it helps. It stops the pattern of dehumanization, for whatever preconceived, whether you don't make a lot or whether you don't work a certain type of job or your social status. It's a very humanizing thing about us.
Right. No, I
So
agree.
yeah, so I think what you did is the exact same thing that I've been doing. I mean, at this time, I should be saving money. I mean, just in my life in general, but because I understand that I need to be different than the mass. Um, every time I've gone out and I've gone shopping, I've taken an extra $10 or an extra 20, and I've
I've
passed it
seen
to
your
the person
post. Yep.
behind me. Yeah, you've seen it.
Yep.
Like so,
I've seen them.
I try to do it every time, even if it's simple as, oh, I'm at fucking like Dunkin' Donuts, and the person behind me just bought a $4 coffee. Hey, bro,
Right.
don't worry about it. I got your coffee. Just pay that forward. Look out for somebody else today. Like
Yep.
just that. It's the little things.
Yep. Trust me, I've if it gets this bad, I've seen The Walking Dead. You want people on your side. Remember last week when we were all in civilization and you bought my coffee? I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna kill the rest of the people you're with. All right, cool, bro. See ya.
All
See
right,
ya.
cool. Thanks for the coffee, man.
Yeah, exactly. How much time have we been recording for, by the way?
We're just about to hit 39 minutes.
Okay. All right. But yeah, it's just I don't know, dude. It's just it's I'm not saying people need to go out of their way, but if you see somebody in need that's around, they might need help. I don't like asking for help.
Right.
Everyone needs help, especially now. People are not going to ask for help. They're gonna, oh, fuck you. I'm gonna.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, you froze up for a quick second. Let's just wait for this shit to happen. I'm pretty sure whoever watches this video is going to just kind of not care. They're going to enjoy the pauses in between. It's part of dealing with it. Oh,
Part
there
of
you go.
dealing.
Now you're back.
No, I was just saying, most people are gonna be out there like, oh, fuck you. I'm gonna Black Friday shop for toilet paper, and like it's it's dumb. Just be a human being, and remember that everyone else that you see are just as scared as you are, and they are just as much of a human being as you are, and they have the same issues that you do. All of a sudden, last week, I became a fucking school teacher. Let me tell you how terrible Common Core is, because I've got to now teach a 10-year-old Common Core, and I don't have much hair up here, but I want to rip the rest of it out.
Yeah.
But it's just as hard for him to learn the way I learn math, just as hard as it is for me to learn his way and then teach it that way to him.
Yeah.
Everybody is going through the same situation right now. You just have to be a human being and just realize that other people have issues that you have as well.
Yeah. Yep.
That's literally what it is. And if we see tanks rolling in and things get worse, okay, then start flipping out. But until then, we're not at that point. We still have a chance to do things the proper way, the realistic way, and the calm way.
Right. Amen. A fucking man, dude. That's like straight up facts. And I think people are getting so lost in the simple fact that not only are we currently having a societal crisis, but everyone's going through their own generational crisis now too.
Yep.
And you explained it. You put it. You fucking nailed it on the head. Uh, Newer generations are going through and trying to process and deal with how they were learned about processing things or going about doing things, and then you have the older generations like you and I, and even older than that, that they were raised on approaching situations a certain way, that now you get you have everyone clashing ideas, and like everyone's just trying to find not only the normalcy out of the situation, but they're trying to find the best route to make it as comfortable and what's the accommodating for the people around them. But you even said it like slow down, chill out, like take
Yeah.
it a day at a time. It's not going to get that bad as long as you swallow your fucking pride and do shit the way it's asked for.
Yep.
Wash your hands, stay indoors, try not to be out in public too much, take care of yourself, take vitamin D, eat healthy, well healthy or just those, and they're not asking for a lot. They're asking for you to just follow some basic, simple fucking steps, and
That's all it is.
but people don't see it that way. That like I want to live by the seat of my pants and I want to enjoy life. Well, guess what? You won't be able to enjoy life when you're locked behind a glass box and your family and friends can't really be there with you in that room. If you just stop being so self-absorbed,
Hmm.
we won't get to the point where then now it's not a choice of whether or not you want to make a decision to follow these rules or not. Now it's like you have no choice. We now take command over what you do. Like if you don't want that, just follow directions. So simple. Follow directions. But yeah, it is what it is, and we kind of have to just kind of roll with the punches as they come along. But I'm just afraid. My biggest fear really is I'm afraid that a lot of the like the words that you and I talk about and what we hear coming from officials, that like I'm afraid that a lot of this stuff is still going to continue to fall on so many deaf ears that
Oh, of course.
by the time they realize like, oh shit, maybe I should really do it, is at the point where now you can't go back and do it because it's now too late.
Well, the only positive I see from that is I seen your post on Facebook about how the world is kind of rehealing itself and cleaning itself up.
Mm.
That
Oh, and of course, just as soon as you're gonna get to the good part, you kind of froze up. No, OBS is like, no, bro, he's about to drop them truth bombs. Hold on a second. Hold on, and I would say about like 2 seconds. One, two, and oh,
and we're
yeah, you're
back.
back. Look at that. All right, go ahead.
So what I was saying is as the world's cleaning itself up and healing itself again, basically what I see is it's going to be a very morbid statement, but I say if we don't want to listen and see the changes that are already happening, then fuck it. We're all just going to die, and at least the world is fucking safe again from us. from
Right.
us polluting it, from us making terrible decisions, and then maybe, if there's another generation down the line, maybe they have a second chance to do things the proper way. Because clearly, my generation, me being millennial, we don't want to listen. I still see people out there. Oh, I'm having a party tonight. Everybody come by, get drunk, blah blah blah. And I'm
And of course he froze again. God damn. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. We got this, guys. For you guys watching and listening, don't worry. We're about to we're about to keep this shit going. Hold on a second. Joe's gonna connect back in three, two.
two,
Oh
one.
shit! You're working good at this.
Yeah, people are having parties. They're having people come to their house and getting drunk, and they're going to drive-in theaters because, oh, I'm in my car, I'm being safe. Haha, I found a loophole. Stop finding loopholes. Just do what you need to do, and we won't have to worry about FEMA camps and tanks rolling in and taking away your rights. You still have them now. This is like your last chance.
Right. Yep. An apocalyptic cleaning. It doesn't have to be death. It doesn't have to be destruction of everything that we know and love. It could be literally something as small and internal as disease. And like
Yep.
this could be, when people make jokes like, oh, I wish the comet would hit right now, blah blah blah, like shit like that. A Pangea style destruction of what killed the dinosaurs could be the very same thing that's happening right now. It's not as dramatic, but it could be that same point of because I don't know exactly how to explain it, but a lot of religious people were saying like, "Oh, Jesus is coming, May of 2012," and it never really happened. Like that whole thing of like death and destruction and blah blah blah. But as long as we remain faithful or we hopeful and blah blah blah, like there's going to be a rebirth of humanity. I think we are
Right.
in that time right now. And it's not being biblical, but it's saying like all these little tremors of diseases that came up, and we kind of like, oh, we took precaution and we did this, that, and the third, and we took care of ourselves. Now we're like, we got this. We did this back then, and we're gonna be fine now. And people are realizing that that's not the way to do it. That
Right.
maybe this is that kind of cleansing, so to speak, that we need to finally realize that there's a certain direction that we should be heading as a species of living creatures. And I don't know, take it how you will, but I do see this as some kind of like global cleansing.
Yeah. Yeah, it very well may be, but it may do more than the cleansing that it planned for if we don't just fucking do what we're supposed to do.
And exactly, that's the point, because there's going to be those who don't take the warning for the face value of and its seriousness. Those are going to be the people that unfortunately will have to deal with the consequences. And of
Right.
course, as a side note to that, unfortunately, some of those consequences are going to be at the expense of people who weren't actively doing things to put themselves in that position, like the immunocompromised, older folks, people with pre-existing conditions, things like that, like that. Like their actions are going to adversely affect those people who weren't intending on becoming a statistic, a victim, if you will.
Right. I agree. I agree. I hope more. I hope more people see it the same way,
Yeah,
because that's what we need. We need these. Everybody take off your tinfoil hats for 2 weeks.
yeah,
Put them back on and praise your alien spaghetti flying monster god. 2 weeks. Take 2 weeks break.
right.
That's it. Just 2 weeks, and let's see if there's a difference when we listen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sweetly said. I agree. I agree with that. Holy shit. I mean, we're hitting up on 49 minutes now.
Well,
uh,
I was honestly thinking. I don't know what your plans are. I was thinking if we kind of start wrapping this episode up, and then we'll see how it goes through. You can replay it or whatever. Next week, I think I have a better idea for how my end is going to work, so I don't keep freezing.
okay.
I think I'll just go straight up like wired right into the modem. I'll just go straight wired.
Yeah, as long as it's not
I,
going to be, out of, like, as long as it doesn't create, like, uncomfort or discomfort for you.
Oh no. I'll just I'll unplug the wire from my Xbox and just plug it right into my laptop, and
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
in my room. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking if we just kind of wrap it up here, and if people watch it, we see what they have to say about it, and then we can hit other topics. Next week can be our conspiracy theory,
That'd be
kind of
dope.
funny, uh, more like us.
Yeah, yeah.
This week is more the serious side. Most people don't definitely see me this side, and I don't think anyone sees you on this side of the spectrum either. So I think
Right.
this week is the serious side. Next week we can make the jokes, and China. We can make
China.
we can make those
We can
jokes
make
next
China jokes.
right. Or if something like serious happens, we can do this during the week and just record another episode during the week.
Right, right. Hell yeah, we can definitely do that. So yeah, as Joe said, if you guys wanted to leave a comment, leave. I mean, just leave your opinion. I mean, honestly, like this is the whole point of the podcast is either to make your own joke or make a statement or leave an opinion or your reflection on the topics that we talked about, or if you simply just have ideas that you would like to hear our opinions about for next week, by all means, leave it in the comments below. Let us know exactly how you feel, and would be, within reason, of course, would be more than happy to take some time out and do a small segment on it. But yeah, so this is a very sobering episode that is not like fly off the fucking handle like we normally are. But I think it's good to kind of reel it in sometimes and kind of just be a little bit more. I guess the word is grounded. It's good to be a little bit grounded in the state of things. But yeah, it'd be great to see some responses and see how you guys are feeling. And I do apologize for not having any actual episodes, but with current state of things, I figured I think that this is more important to address as we go and move through the motions. Of this whole scenario, because episodes are going to be a little harder to do. So for those who are waiting for another crazy episode, anything that we do is going to be very minimal. So it's going to be down to just Joe and I for the most part, unless we get a third person that says like, "Hey, I definitely want to try this and that and the third," whatever the case is. We'll oblige by that, but we're not actively going to go out and say, "Hey, 3, 4, 5 people, we're doing this big skit like the superhero skit." We're not going to go out and do that until things kind of calm down a little bit, but we will be doing more content. We will be coming up with some good ideas, some new ideas coming up. But for now, our podcast will be focusing on some of the current events locally, at least in our area. But yeah, any last words for you, Joe?
um, share toilet paper and wash your fucking hands for God's
And
sakes.
your ass. And your ass.
I don't care if you wash your ass.
I do.
Everyone's quarantined in their own house, so I ain't gotta
No.
see any.
Yeah, but the moment they come out, the wind. I don't want to be one of those guys stuck in the downwind of it all.
Well, the terrible thing is it's getting to be summertime. It's gonna be nice and hot. People are gonna smell
Oh,
even bad. Yeah.
moss-filled
So
swamp ass.
wash. Just be safe.
Be
Be cautious.
sanitary.
I don't expect everyone to be Howie Mandel, but just wash your hands, okay?
Be practical.
Let's
Be
start.
logical. All right. Well, that'll wrap things up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Abstract Enterprise production podcast with myself and the man, the myth, the legend, motherfucking Joe Snow here.
The motherfucker.
Until then, we will see you guys in the next podcast episode. Take care.